2 yachts, 2 crews, 2 skippers, 2 rivals. In Sydney, where we lay our scene. 2 rivals, both victorious and defeated in contests past. 2 rivals, faster and stronger than before.
Foul, foul, foul!
Destined to meet once more. Two rivals, one will win, one will lose, in the classic that is the Sydney Hobart.
There were some moments where the foot was right down, and there was like, oh, this is a ride.
Nobody, but nobody, has any clue what's really going to happen.
It's the old story of the Hobart. You've got to be in it to win it.
It's day 2 of the Sydney Hobart, and the fight between Wild Oats 11 and Perpetual Loyal has lived up to all expectations. First, Wild Oats led, then Loyal. Now Oats is out in front again. It's punch versus counter-punch in the fight to the finish.
The thing I love about Sydney Hobart is just the whole aura of the race. The lead up to the race, the competitors, you've got some of the most iconic, ocean racing sailors in the world competing in this race.
I don't think anybody, turns up and says just love going sailing in Bass Strait and getting smashed by 50-knot winds and 20-metre waves is just the most fun in the world.
It's an amazing event and it gets better every year. That's been the great thing about it for the last 8 years for us.
As a kid, I used to watch the start every year, the boats, the cameras, the helicopters, the sheer festival of it all and the sheer exhilaration behind it.
It is, one of the most sought after ocean racing trophies in the world, and to be part of that is a real privilege.
To get a victory in this race, and I don't think there's any crew who'd ever get off a boat after winning this race and say, yeah, that was pretty easy. We're looking for more challenge later on.
At the very highest level, rivalry can define the outcome in performance. Rivalry can be the very thing that leads athletes to transform themselves in the heat of the moment under pressure when it counts, or it can be the thing that is destructive and can destroy performance. And that depends on the perception of the athlete, the team, the coach, and the management in that situation. Rivalry is something that can help or is going to harm. If I go outside and compare myself to the competition, the opponent, and recognise that actually I don't have the coping resources to respond, I'm in trouble. If I go outside of myself and compare myself to the competition and the opponent, and then have the ability to respond by focusing on my strengths, it becomes something that helps and fuels the inner flame, that motivation and drive to succeed. Great athletes, the very best athletes, use rivalry as the very thing that drives performance excellence when it matters under pressure to achieve their very best.
While Wild Oats and Loyal fight it out for line honours, the battle for overall handicap victory is as intense as the weather along the Tasmanian coast.
This is a message from the Bureau of Meteorology. There's currently a strong northerly flow across the state of Tasmania and the surrounding coastal waters, which has been increasing throughout the afternoon. A cold front and a trough are approaching from the west and are expected to cross the state and the race area during this evening, bringing a strong westerly change with it. The cold front moving over this evening is expected to bring a westerly change of up to 35 knots this evening and increasing up to 40 knots overnight into Sunday morning. Sea states expected with the cold front and the increase in wind are expected to rise to 4 metres. The swell is also expected to increase from the west to southwest around about 3 metres overnight.
The real prize for so many of these guys, and that's why they're there, is to win the Tattersalls Cup, put that real feather in your cap and say, I've won a Rolex Sydney Hobart race, I've won it on handicap. Which yacht's going to win this year on handicap? Really, it's so hard to tell because there's so many variables still to come into play. But the way the weather pattern's looking, you'd have to say it's one of the top-end boats. One of the bigger boats, say from 50 feet upwards, they will more than likely win the race on time. Last night, Wild Oats 11 led the 94 yacht fleet into Bass Strait and then hit the wall. We knew that there was a trough there. Everyone knew there was a trough there waiting as a trap. She slowed down, she lost speed, the others compressed and gained on her. But the guys did a great job getting through that light weather, and they actually made a gain during the night. But then when they sailed out of the trough this morning, the rich got richer. They got into the breeze earlier than anyone else, and away they went. And they've opened up a lead now of some 20 plus miles. If Wild Oats 11 does win the Hobart race this year, I think the boys will look on this as being their best win ever. It was going to be the toughest, and it's certainly proven to be that. It's going to be a great victory for them, and it's going to be a huge celebration.
Rivalry turns sailing from a voyage into a competition. It's a chance to test yourself against another boat or crew. But rivals come and rivals go. The one true test for a sailor is the battle against the ocean. And it's that rivalry in the Sydney Hobart that will continue to endure.